I doing the most with this multicolored eye and the purple lip? I don't know. I'm kind of living for it. Let me never do that again. Hello everyone, my name is Ashton and I'm just trying to get it together. So in today's videos can be more relaxed. Not that it's ever like, I've had a little bit more of a serious tone, but normally it's pretty relaxed and chilled here, I'd like to think. But, yeah, we're gonna talk about my palettes. We're doing the palette tag. This idea, I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments below if I'm wrong. But I think this idea originated with Samantha March and Allie Glines, which I watch Samantha March sometimes, but Allie Glines, I love her. I love her. Oh my gosh. She led me through this tutorial of the e.l.f. JKissa palette. Love her. I need to get more into Samantha March's videos. She's amazing. Love her. But like Allie Glines, that girl is legit. You need to watch her. She's amazing. And I don't normally say you need to do this, but she is just wholesome and just very sweet and just straight to the point. There's no drama. I mean, it's just makeup, honey. Like, she's just telling you about makeup and she's great. I love her to death. So basically I'm giving you kind of a tour of my palettes without giving you a tour of my palettes. It's like I've had some people ask me if I would open my drawer and show all of the palettes that I have because I would like to, but I don't want to seem braggy. So let me know in the comments below if you think that that's braggy or not, if you would like to see a tour of my palettes, because I'd like to do it, but let me know if you think that that's like weird or not. I don't know, I feel like I'm being braggy, and I don't like think that it's braggy, but I think that other people are gonna think that it's braggy. You know what I mean? I don't know, I know my intentions are pure, but I want others to also know that. You know what I mean? I don't know. So basically with this palette tag, you're giving certain palettes awards, and some of them are good and some of them may not be so much. So let's get into it. But first, don't forget to like this video if you think I'm awesome. Comment all the things that I just told you to comment. And subscribe, because I'd love to have you here on a daily basis. Make sure and ring the bell and have those notifications come through, because I post 3 times a week, whether it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or like last week, which was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. LOL. I'd love to have you here full time. We love it here, and yeah. Let's get to it without further ado. Okay, so we are gonna start with the newest palettes. And so I have 3 here because I have the 2 from my original video and the one that I bought since then. So from the video previously, yes, I have them all labeled with sticky notes. I have the LA Girl Pro Mastery palette. Here, I'm gonna flip it. You have some really gorgeous pinks, some plums, you have some shimmer shades, and it's gorgeous. A huge, huge mirror, and it is a cheap price. I think with a sale, I got this for like $8, and gosh, it performs really, really well. And on the same day, I also got this palette. I got the BH Cosmetics Smitten in Switzerland because gosh, it just screamed at my cool toned heart. I mean, come on! With my green eyes, gosh, it just, oh my gosh, it screamed Ashton. Look at that. It's beautiful. And BH Cosmetics has my heart because that's what I wore on my wedding day. face, eyes, everything. Like, it's what I wore on my wedding day, and I looked snatched. I say that so many times on my channel because guess what? People say that you have to wear the most expensive thing ever on your wedding day. Honey, you do not. I looked snatched on my wedding day, and I wore BH Cosmetics, and I looked fantastic. But the actual newest palette, because I'm redoing this video, is the e.l.f. JKissa palette. Yes! Okay, so it is a rainbow palette, basically. Oh, I still have my sticker sheet, sorry. You have some brights, you have more subdued shades, and you have glitters. I have an entire video on this. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. I'm wearing it today. Yes. Anyway, I love it and I'm obsessed. Yeah, a sticker sheet comes with it and you decorate it. I've already started decorating. It says, "Rest in peace, Jesse Piddles." That's my dog that passed away. I love him. Yes, and he will always be a part of my life, and I love him. However, I have ran out of E's, so I need to make, with my Cricut that I have, some decals for Spencer and Copper. And yeah, we're just gonna have a good old time with this and decorate. Anyway, love this. Okay, so the oldest palette, I have 3 here. I really don't know which is the oldest. Let me take my little sticky note off. It's gone now, it really is. Okay, so I have 3. So first of all, I don't know where this came from. It's Estee Lauder. You know, it has obviously a blush here that still has a little bit of pigment, right? Okay, I hear you. And you have some shadows here. I'm here for that, right? I don't know how old it is. I don't know where it came. Honestly, I don't know where it came from. I don't know how old this. It needs to go in the trash, but I wanted to make this video and I want to do a declutter. So, yeah, this might be it. But then there's this. Like, this is also super duper old. It's the Maybelline blush nudes. Yeah, it's that basic blushed nudes. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Ooh, actually it's very well pigmented. Like, and you know what's funny is actually I found this on, oh my gosh, it's actually pretty well pigmented. Ooh, girl, hey girl. Yeah, it's, no, this shade right here ain't got a dang bit of pigment. However, I will say I found it on Amazon and it's apparently the top of the saved lists for makeup. So people are saving this. I guess they want to see like a naked dupe. I don't know if it's 1. No, it's not naked 1. Is it naked 2 or 3? I don't know. But anyway, I heard that it was a dupe for a naked palette. Not feeling it. It's very old. I remember that I was actually in Walmart with some friends. I was looking for some makeup to make myself feel better and have a good time. And this was like one of the first palettes that I picked up. So I still have it. And then this one right here is like around that same time. The Natural Eyes palette from Hard Candy. So what's interesting is you get these shades right here and then you get a little book. What's fun is the little book tells you what to do, and I laugh, but guess what? That is useful, okay? Like, a good tutorial is something that you need in life, because I'm sorry, this right here was a tutorial from Allie Glines. Like, this right here, like, I used this I don't know how many times, on how many nights out. When we went out to hang out with our friends, carve pumpkins, do whatever, honey, I did this to my eyes. And guess what? You know what? I feel like this shade right here is probably pretty decent. Let's swatch a Rooski. Okay. Ugh, that's left from the other one. Let's just swatch a Roo. I mean, it's not bad. Look at that shade. Look at my arm and my face. Good Lord, this is my fish's belly. It's like, ooh, okay, honey. Let's do this one right here. Honey, like, look at that. Oh my God, it slid across the arm. No wonder I looked snatched back then. And there's this eye crayon I never messed with. Let's just, oh my God. Oh my God, yes. Yeah, I never messed with this one time. I skipped right past it. Yeah, I forgot about these eyeshadows. Who would have thought? Anyway, wow, good times, man. So a favorite from a favorite brand. I thought that Physicians Formula, like I have a palette from Physicians Formula and I love it and I'm obsessed with it. But I was like, you know what? I'm sure you've had enough with Physicians Formula. So I'm gonna go in a different direction. A favorite from a favorite brand, and I've already mentioned this brand before, is BH Cosmetics. This is one of the best palettes I've ever used in my entire life. Oh my gosh, it is the BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis. And I want to say it's on sale right now, but oh my goodness gracious, have mercy. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Like, look at that. What? Oh no, I just dug my nail into it. I'm telling you, this shade right here, it looks like, and I call that a peanut butter shade. And I understand that it's not called peanut butter. I understand. But to me, it looks like peanut butter, and I love peanut butter. That is a perfect transition shade, and that's perfect to build upon the transition shade and put that in the crease. And then you use any shimmer shade and you have an eye look, honey. There's so many shimmers. It's probably like, why would you pay this much for a shimmer shade? Right now, it's on sale. The shimmers are so good. Tati sold this for me. I mean, good Lord. Look at this blue. Where am I gonna put it? Oh God, I need a makeup wipe. Like, look at that. Like, look at that. It's gorgeous. Like, really? Oh man. This right here, I use, I don't know how many times for a highlight. This right here is highly pigmented. It is perfect. You will get the shimmer you want, and these mattes that are spread throughout are perfect. They build up and they're wonderful. I love this palette. People won't talk about it enough. I've had it for 2 years and I love it. I love it. I go to it and I know that it's gonna be awesome. Gotta use my little Walmart grapefruit wipes. You know what's stuck in my head right now? Rain on Me by Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande. I would love to sing it / play it right now. Oh my gosh, that's not coming off where I do that heart. Anyway, yeah, this is stuck in my head right now. And here we are. The palette with the best memory. You might be like, really? And be surprised. I understand. But it is this Milani palette. It's called the Everyday Eyes Bare Necessities. I'm having to read it off the back because it looks like the most boring palette, but honey, is it the best? Oh my gosh. I packed this and only this eyeshadow palette. And I mean, like, obviously I had other things for the face, but as far as eyeshadow is concerned, this is what I packed on my honeymoon. And I took it with me on the cruise to the Bahamas. I didn't really use it much because, if you've been on a cruise, you're not gonna wear a lot of makeup. Most people won't anyway. it brings back so many good memories for me because I can just be like, you know what? If I need a simple look, but I know it needs to look good, this right here is it for me. And it just gives me so many good memories, and I will probably keep this forever because of that. Okay, so the smallest and the biggest palette. So let's start with the smallest palette. We have the NARS, got this at TJ Maxx. Kalahari 1 and 2. So it's a teeny tiny little NARS palette, right? And you open it up, and it looks like this. And you think, oh, that's boring. Yeah, sure, whatever. But guess what? It works really well. Like this little shade right here, it goes way farther than you think it will. You could take this palette with you for a night out and you could go pretty far with it. Like you don't need much more than this to have a very successful eye look. Like I was very surprised whenever I saw exactly how much depth that these two eyeshadows gave every eye look that I made for it. So the biggest eyeshadow palette. Dun, 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 dun. The Jaclyn Hill Volume 1. Honey, this thing is a huge palette, but good God, is it good. Like you have so many neutrals and you have a little splash of blue and purple here. I mean, it's exactly what you need. You even have a little bit of a, this is green, right? Yeah, like you even have a little bit of a green here. Like it's gorgeous. Like look at that. Everything that you need. I forgot that green was even there because I always think neutrals, blue. That's always what I think of with this palette. I forgot that green was there. That's awful to say, but it's the truth. This palette is great, but it really is pigeonholed within my collection because I think neutrals and a splash of blue because that's what it is. But guess what? The quality is fantastic. I got this a month or two before I got married and I didn't regret spending my money on it. Even whenever my money was tight. Like this is really good. Okay, so most colorful obviously also goes to the e.l.f. JKissa palette, but this has been my most colorful palette for at least 6 months. I don't know, actually, because of quarantine. But this is the Anastasia Alyssa Edwards collab. Alyssa Edwards is my favorite queen. If you have any other queens that are your favorite, like let me know below. But Alyssa's the best. Like, #1, honey. #1. There's a lot going on. That is very colorful, a lot of purples and blues, even some neutrals here. So it was my most colorful palette until I bought the e.l.f. JKissa palette. So here, I thought that this was a really good purchase. I love it. I will say that this Dream It shade kind of was a letdown. However, I still like the palette as a whole. The DDG shade was really good. Yeah, it's a really good palette. I like it a lot. The Anastasia formula is just so good. I love it so much. Okay, so let's talk about the most expensive and the least expensive palettes. It is so wild to see the two. So we have our least expensive and our most expensive. Let's start with our most expensive. This is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Bloodlust palette. Here, and this palette actually, to my knowledge, was in stock all throughout quarantine. So it was mostly a purple palette. You have obviously some splashes of red, some teal and green. So it was something that was extremely different. I wanna say this was $54, I wanna say. And this is the LA Colors Flashy palette, and you can actually see the $1 wow. This is $1. This is from Christmas, I wanna say 2 years ago. I mean, let me explain. So what's really funny about this palette is I was depotting and I kind of took my finger and slashed through a couple that I was like, whatever, just kind of discard those. And for a $1 palette, these two shades were ones that I was like, And whenever I was going through this, I was thinking, I have a million shades, this color and this color. But all of those made the cut. Like, I remember that Zabrina with a Z, I know I've said her name so many times on my channel, but Zabrina, she has red hair, it's Z-A-B-R-E-N-A. She said that these were really good, and I went and got it, and I was just honestly so surprised. They were $1. They were $1 during the Christmas season at Family Dollar, and I was like, what? That can't be any good. Like, it just can't. Like, what? And guess what? Whenever I've made, okay, yeah, that little like shimmer shade was nothing to write home about. But whenever I did some sort of look with this palette, I always felt like my eyeshadow just looked amazing. Like, it just, wow, $1. It just stood out to me completely. And there are some matte shades here that stand out to me enough to keep. I love it, $1. Okay, so let's talk about everyday palettes. So for an everyday palette, I couldn't choose one. I just couldn't. It's a tie between the Soft Glam palette and the Sultry palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. First of all, you have the Sultry palette. With the Sultry palette, by the way, I got this on sale at TJ Maxx. Yes. You have some cool tones, you have some nice shimmer shades, you have a pop of pink. It's just gorgeous. You can do whatever you want with it. You have a black, you have a brown, a tan. You have everything you need here. And it's very versatile. People said it was their very favorite of the Anastasia formula. And it just, the packaging, unlike the velvet packaging, this here glitter does not get dirty as quickly. And then you have my very first, and this is kind of weird to say, but this is my very first purchase of any high-end palette ever. This is the Soft Glam palette for Anastasia Beverly Hills. I remember I purchased it after reaching a work goal of mine. I can use this any day I want. You have browns, you have yellows, you have glitters, you have anything you need here. The pigment is great. The lasting power is great. It's just a fantastic formula. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna go through the palette that's worth the hype and not worth the hype. Okay, so I'm gonna break a few hearts here. So we're gonna do not worth the hype first. I'm not trying to make waves. It's honestly how I felt since the beginning. I think a palette that is not worth the hype, but I still enjoy. But I don't think it's worth the hype that it gets is the Blood Sugar palette. Honestly, I think that JEFFREE had so many better palettes. I think some of the pigmentation here was off. And I'll explain. Like, the packaging, good God, on point, honey, on point. Like, this shade right here, I cannot work with it. This shade right here is pressed too hard. I can't work with it. This shade right here, I can't work with it. It's pressed too hard. And that eliminates, besides this shade right here, any darker color. I guess you could say that this one is a darker color. But I would expect with the palette that costs this much, and for one that's JEFFREE Star Cosmetics, that I would want a darker red besides these that would be easier to work with. These, to me, I just could not work with. And to me, I didn't think it was worth the hype. I thought Bloodlust was much better. heck, I thought his Morphe collab was better. The ones that worked for me in this palette really worked. But the ones that didn't just did not. This shade of Positive did not work for me. It just had a gritty, like very hard pressed feel to it. I was not a major fan. So I had some shades in here that I was like, I don't know. It did not live up to the hype. Maybe I got a dud, I don't know, but I just think I'm the only one. Okay, I'm really not trying to start anything, I promise, but like, the palette that lived up to the hype for me is the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals. I cannot tell you what this palette means to me. That sounded really weird. Tati Westbrook has taught me everything that I know about makeup, with the exception of a couple of things. But as far as like, I don't know how to shade my face and contour and all of these things, I didn't know this until Tati. I didn't understand the difference between like cool tone and warm tone and neutral tone. I didn't know that until Tati. You know, she would tell me that, okay, I say she would tell me, but it was, you know, she'd make YouTube videos. Anyway, she would always say that, hey, these drugstore palettes are just as good as a high-end palette. Buy those instead. Anyway, I love Tati. Palette, when she launched it, I knew I was gonna buy it anyway, but yet somehow I was still surprised with how good it was, but yet I wasn't surprised because I knew that she wasn't gonna put out some crap. I knew she'd put out something great because she has high standards based on her and like the, I don't know, 4 or 5 years that I've been watching her. I knew that she would put out a palette that was amazing. And guess what? It was. This palette lived up to every expectation. The glitters, oh my God. Those glitters are life. Anyway, I love it. It also comes with a huge mirror and it's not ridiculously priced. I love her. She's amazing. Okay, so 2 more categories. So I have, first of all, that's rediscovered due to this video. This was actually from my last video because I had a full look from this palette. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera palette. It's just so colorful and pretty. And I will say that this palette I have discovered recently. This shade right here is one of, I want to say top 5, maybe top 3 of my favorite eyeshadow shades that I've ever used in my life. It is the Seaside shade. It can go purple, it can go blue, it can go silver. Whatever you pair it with, it goes. And you can use any of these shades. I mean, it's gorgeous. I absolutely love this palette. Do you need it if you have shades that are exactly like this? Probably not. But I didn't really have shades like this. And it was on sale at TJ Maxx, so I got it. Okay, 2 honorable mentions and then we're done. I'm sorry, it would not be me mentioning palettes if I didn't talk to you about my L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted palette. I'm sorry, no one mentions this palette enough. I'm sorry, I think that it's a perfect beginner's palette. You know, you get your neutrals, you get your pinks, you get everything you need. You could even, heck, work a highlighter out of it, honey. You know what, I don't need any more highlight. But if you needed to, you could work a highlighter out of this. You could work a bronzer. I mean, you could do whatever you needed out of this palette if you 100% needed it. This palette is amazing. It has some peach scent still. It's old, like it's a little old, a little bit, year and a half, maybe 2 years, maybe 2, probably around 2. But anyway, it is just, oh my God, it's fantastic. I love these shimmer shades, honey. Yes, work. I love this palette. I still use it all the time because it just, people don't talk about it enough. I love it. If you're a beginner, I think it's perfect. It blends out. It's still pigmented enough. It builds up. It's within your price range. I love it. And the second honorable mention and the last palette of this video is the Colourpop Sweet Talk palette. Good God have mercy. And you know what? Raw Beauty Christie, she actually endorses this palette. It is adorable. Goodness gracious have mercy. You have some neutrals here. You have some corals and pinks and whatnot. But the thing that carries the whole palette, for me, a lot of people might think otherwise, but this Prima Drama shade, honey, right here, it is this gorgeous. And by the way, I have a video and I will link it below. I have a video using this palette. If you put this, a little tiny bit of this, you don't need to, you just kind of boop boop and ding 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 on your eyelid. Oh my God, you're gonna look fantastic, honey, because oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. And you know what? This early morning, look at that. Look at that. Like, obviously a glitter, oh my good Lord, have mercy. Look at that. Look at that. Like, why would you put anything else on your lid besides this palette? Like, I can't. It never ceases to amaze me. Colourpop Sweet Talk. Colourpop, honey, they know what they're doing. They know how to take our money. But guess what? They're not taking too much of our money compared to who else is taking our money. They know. They know. All right, everyone. That's the palette tag. Those are my palettes that I'm feeling pretty strong about. And yeah. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any recommendations, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you have to say. So don't forget to like if you like this video, comment and whatnot, and subscribe. I'd love to have you here. Make sure you ring the bell. My sun drop was rocking if you wondered what that sound was. Because sun drop is live. Yes. So that's it for today's video. See y'all next time. Biggest and the smallest. Love that for me. I've already said that. Who cares? Me, y'all.